Hey guys, my name is Alex and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you guys ever heard the sound on TikTok?
You have to start romanticizing your life. You have to start thinking of yourself as the main character. Because if you don't, life will continue to pass you by. And all the little things that make it so beautiful will continue to go unnoticed. So take a second and look around and realize that it's a blessing for you to be here right now.
Whenever I see these TikToks, I see people with footage of like them swimming in crystal clear lakes or like climbing on top of mountains or going to like really upscale dinners with their friends. And I just can't help but feel like they've missed the entire point of the video. Like if you're in an objectively beautiful place, or it's like the one day a year that you've woken up to see the sunrise, or if you're at like a music festival, then you're obviously going to appreciate those things because those aren't the little moments that you're going to miss. Those are the big moments. I think what the message is really trying to get at is that we need to start appreciating the small mundane things that make up the bulk of our life. The vast majority of your life will not be hiking national parks or spending time with your perfect significant other or attending music festival. Our lives are going to be way more boring than that. Like I've spent way more time going to the bathroom than I will ever spend on like going on exotic trips or anything. And even on the trips that I do go on, like they're not nearly as picture perfect as they seem. Like we spend so much time on planes or just driving or waiting places that it is not at all like the Instagram pictures that we imagine. But here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that. I think social media like really propagates this idea that our life needs to be like one long, unending, exciting moment. But that's just not real. If we buy into this idea that our life is comprised of like a series of really exciting moments, we're gonna miss out on the vast majority of our lives waiting for the next trip or waiting for the next music festival to start. I always like to compare this to like waiting in a doctor's office. Whenever we get to a doctor's office, there's always like that 5 or 10 minutes that we just have to sit in the lounge and wait before we can go see the doctor. But those 5 or 10 minutes that we're waiting in the waiting room aren't just minutes that need to go by, they're our life. The time between big trips aren't just wasted time or void moments. They're as real and as important as the trips themselves. The reason I was thinking about this was because last quarter I had to read a book called This Life by Martin Hagglund. And that book mentioned another book called My Struggle. No, not that one. This one. And reading Hagglund talk about this book has really re-energized me to stop and appreciate the small moments in my life even more. My Struggle by Karl Ove Knausgaard is over 3,600 pages long and it spans 6 complete volumes. Because of that, I have not read it, but I have read Martin Hagglund talking about this book. To my understanding, this Goliath of a book series is about Karl Ove Knausgaard. It goes in depth, almost like a journal about the daily life and struggles of Karl Ove Knausgaard. And that may sound really mundane, and I think it's supposed to be. But because of that, it is also profoundly beautiful. When talking about My Struggle, Hagglund writes, "We spend many pages going grocery shopping, pushing baby prams in the city, and attending to daily exchanges with his children, all rendered with a fidelity to everyday life that neither idolizes nor deprecates the experience in question. We become attuned to the weight of waking up too early while trying to meet the demands of family life, the sinking feeling of facing an apartment in chaotic disorder, and the numbness that follows from an endless array of tasks. Yet the same attunement also yields the radiant moments of everyday life. Precisely because Knausgaard perseveres in exploring his mundane existence, he loosens the hold of habit and makes us see the world anew." If this is how beautiful like the description of the book is, I cannot imagine how beautiful the actual book and writing are. This paragraph really helped reframe what I thought made life exciting. The problem isn't that we don't do enough exciting things. The problem is that we don't pay enough attention to the things that we are doing. Imagine paying attention to the small moments in your life as an act of devotion, as an act of being committed to living the life that you truly have. Hey guys, so I'm editing the video right now and I just wanted to talk about like the little video I made at the beginning, like the compilation of all the cool things I've done in like the last year or whatever. And I just wanted to say that like the moments in those videos are like 1 to 5% of my life, if that. And that's my point. Like if I spent all of my life waiting for those moments to come, I would hate my life. 99% of my life is just way more boring than that. And like, that's fine. Those moments are real. And I do really appreciate when I go to national parks or when I see like a really great sunset. But I recognize that like the vast majority of my life aren't those moments. So I try to appreciate that other 99% as much as like that 1%. But yeah, those videos are not at all reflective of what my actual life is like. Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, so those are like great words, beautiful even. But what does that mean for us, like the average everyday person? Am I expected to write like a 3,600 page novel about my daily life? Yes, well, kind of. Something I've been doing on and off since my freshman year of high school is journaling every single night. Honestly, I don't know where my journals from high school are. I know that I definitely journaled in high school, but I've kind of like lost those. But I do have a journal for every single day of my gap year and every single day that I've been at college. During my gap year and up till now, every night I would just sit down and recount everything that happened in a day, how I was feeling, what my general thoughts were. And none of the writing is beautiful. Honestly, I don't even really consider it writing. I do it purely for myself. I journaled almost every single day of my gap year, and just being able to read back on that is a really nice feeling. I was really lucky to be able to travel a little bit last year, and I met some really, really cool people. And every single trip that I went on, I made sure to sit down and journal as much as I possibly could. Sometimes I would wait till after the trip was over, and I would go home and journal afterwards. For example, I went to Arizona last year, and we went to the Grand Canyon and the Zion area, and I remember going through the entire trip and then coming home, and I sat down for like straight up 4 to 5 hours just trying to recount every single thing that happened each day, try to think of every single inside joke I could, because I wanted to remember those moments. And those moments happened, and I wanted to be able to experience them for as long as I could. I counted, and in total for that Arizona trip, I ended up writing 16 pages of stuff. Just, this is what happened this day, this is how I feel, this is what I remember. It is so fun to like occasionally just sit down and look at what I remember and what I experienced that week of my life. And like 16 pages is not a little bit. Like, there's a good amount of writing in each of the pages in my journal. For a lot of the bigger trips of the year, I took journaling really seriously, and I made sure to recount as much as I could about each day. But I will admit, on the more normal days at home, when I was just like working at the nail salon or just doing something at home, like I put a lot less emphasis on journaling. But after reading This Life, I have completely changed my view on that. I make more of an effort to journal my small everyday moments, who I ate lunch with, what I remembered about lunch or dinner, a joke that I heard, a reason that I smiled. And journaling is something I take as seriously as like any midterm or final. Like, I remember one night on a Sunday, I had not journaled that Friday or Saturday, so I needed to make up like 2 or 3 days worth of journaling in one night. And it was like 2 a.m. when I started journaling, and I did not finish till like 4 in the morning. And I had a 9:45 class that I needed to wake up for. Let me be clear, journaling isn't some attempt to live forever, and I honestly think it would be better if no one saw some of the things that I wrote in my journal. But I think it's a symbol of how important I feel every small moment of my day is. It's a reminder that each moment is worthy of being experienced and remembered for itself. It's a practice that bleeds into your life. The more you journal and pay attention to small moments, the more you begin to realize that you're in those moments before they've even passed. Like, you're going to start realizing and seeing things that you would not have appreciated before. And I think that is so valuable. Like, as of right now, looking back on my college career, I almost viscerally remember what it feels like to sit on a couch in my dorm hallway talking to my friend till 3 or 4 in the morning. I remember like the explosion of red and orange of the sunset when I was skateboarding down Harvard Street. I remember what it feels like to be like really anxious at the beginning of college, trying to like throw together weekend plans so you don't feel like you're alone. These moments, with all of their anger and boredom and anxiety and tranquility and excitement and joy, they're my life.